Alright guys, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to be going over the Prime 1 Studio Batman Beyond from the Arkham Knight Batman game series. One of my favorite game series ever. And this has definitely been a grail for me for a long time, since before I even started collecting statues at all. So, big day for me. Today we're going to be going over it, all the pluses, and maybe we'll find some minuses. I don't know, it's pretty good. So let's get started. A little backstory here. If you're not familiar, this is Batman, but it's not a normal Batman. There was in the 90s, I believe in 98, a TV series animated came out called Batman Beyond. Some of you may have seen the Sideshow piece that's recently come out. Well, in the third game for the Arkham series, Arkham, not City, not Arkham Asylum, I think it was just called Arkham Knight. It was the last one of them. An alternate suit that Bruce could wear was this one, the Batman Beyond suit. It's its own kind of interpretation of the suit. So in a sense, even though it's not part of the game's storyline, I think that they were trying to imply this is some sort of a proto suit for like an early Batman Beyond costume. So I don't think that this is Terry McGinnis in it, who is the normal Batman Beyond. I believe that this would theoretically be Bruce in it. But it is cool either way. Just pure awesome concept to bring this into the number one, the game. It was one of the coolest suits, and then to see it in physical representation and form is dumbfoundingly cool. Definitely one of my favorite pieces for sure. Took me forever to get, but found a great deal and I was able to snag one up. So backstory, I went over that. It's probably Bruce, not Terry, but it's kind of cool to think either way. Does the concept work for bringing it to life? It looks exactly like the video game version. So they, may have even used the 3D files for it, but it is directly out of the game. Now, concept-wise, for the base, it's a standard Batman Arkham series Prime 1 base. The rooftop with gargoyles. Now, I think that they did a good job of making this something that tied in with the character. Batman Beyond is in the future, quite a bit in the future. And so the building looks a bit dilapidated. It looks broken down. It's old. The gargoyles are kind of these demon mutant kind of things, which reminds me actually of the bad guys in most of the cartoon were and the comics were mutants, street gang members that modified their body with their DNA and then created horns and whatnot. So I think that ties nicely into the character. I see on the back is a Batman symbol. It looks a lot like the one that's on the Arkham Knight version, but this one looks really old, really dated. So I think that it's trying to say it's far in the future. One thing I did kind of notice that's funny is that the kind of roots growing up the side of it, the vines, they remind me very closely of the same roots that are on, as far as like paint style, as far as what's on Batman Who Laughs, which that was the first time I had really noticed them before, and commented on it. I see a similar trend as far as paint and design and level of detail on it, so it makes me kind of understand a little bit better. Now, looking at this, so we went over background, we went over concept, engineering. The statue is 33 inches tall. I believe it's just under 18 inches deep. It's not a heavy statue. I think it's probably in the high 30s for pounds. This is the exclusive edition, which comes with a batarang and additional hand to hold batarang. The regular edition still also comes with 2 additional arms for an open hand versus closed hand. I think closed is cooler. I'm going to stick with that. And then a secondary portrait with the flesh face that has a cover that you can snap in. So it's a solid face. Personally, I appreciate the version I have on it where it's a blackened face. I think it kind of reminds me more of the animated series, but either one is really cool. Okay, let's talk about paint. Starting at the bottom, the paint is great with all of the rooftops that they generally do. It looks like brick. It looks like brick that has copper accents, and the copper looks good. The gargoyles are some of my favorite of any of the gargoyles. I love this bronze look, and I just think it looks epic for what it is. Yeah, the bronze I think just looks really good. It looks dated, it looks old, looks dirty. I like it. The pipe that is on the front looks like a pipe. The vines are really the only thing that I think looks a little, I wouldn't say one-dimensional. There are highs and lows in it. There's shading. But compared to the detail that is on the blocks, it's mildly muddled. But I think that in the lighting that I normally put it in, very like, you know, stark, strong lighting, colored, it makes it look like a city lights below. It looks really cool. Looking up here at his the beginning of his uniform, you can see that they changed color for the paint depending on the parts. There's darker, there's shinier, there's everything is its own shade of black, other than some red highlights of like lights and things like that. But the paint is nicely varied between different material types. It gives it a real sense of complexity that this is a, you know, this is a bat suit that's like a tactical suit. It's really cool. Looking up here, the belt has some really cool intricate little gold pieces and silver pieces, and then the normal black pieces. The suit itself overall is pretty consistent with, you know, the pattern of different types of material, but they have a really good emphasis on wear also, which is cool because super high-tech, futuristic, but then there's wear on it. It looks like he's been using his suit. It looks really cool. The batarang was an absolute must for me. I could not go with a regular edition. It's probably my favorite of the batarang styles that are out there. Just so cool. It really grabs my eye. I love it. Bat symbol is just this awesome popping red. The symbol and the batarang in my light setup just pop, and it looks so cool. I love it. You can actually see that there are areas that have painted on stitching. That's a really cool detail that just, it really makes it look like straight from the game to this. I love it. It's great. The backpack on his back looks like he's been rolling. It's got wear to it. It looks really cool. Another thing I noticed was that same kind of stitching is actually done on the Batman Who Laughs on his leather, but it's in white. I just noticed a lot of similarities when it came to the paint job. Really cool. I think, like, you know, both of these statues are just top notch for what they are. The portrait looks solid. I mean, there's nothing I would change about it. You know, the eyes are the same kind of red. It really pops. It really looks cool. The cowl parts for the bat ears are like a shiny gloss versus his head, which is more of a matte. It just, you know, it's a polish of difference that really stands out for me, and I'm a really big fan of this piece. Now, sculpt, starting from the bottom. What can I say? I've already said that I love these gargoyle mutants, and they're just really cool. I love. It looks really well done. The gargoyle actually kind of makes the Arkham Knight gargoyle, you know, kind of a shame, but I mean, it's still really cool. It's just, this is so cool. It's one of my favorite of the gargoyle pieces on all the Batman stuff. Sculpt on the brick, it looks like brick. Sculpt on the symbol and the gargoyles all look like this brass motif kind of thing to it. The sculpt on the vines, I mean, they look like vines, but maybe some more detail there would have helped make those pieces look a little more real, but you know, it's hard to really knock it. It's just a little vine on it. But on the suit, you know, this is a mixture of kind of like hard ballistic plastics and then leathers and a variety of different kinds of materials, and they do a great job in the sculpt of making it look like it's a variety of different materials. It makes it look like these are hard plastics in some areas where the pants are like, you know, what you would think of like a bulletproof, you know, kind of a denim-y area. It looks like pants with the folds there versus the solid of the armor. So I think they look fantastic. There is literally no element to the body or the portrait that I would change at all. Huge fan, and this is going to be one of those forever collection ones. Never going to get rid of this one. This is a big one for the lineup. It's going to look great next to all the Dark Knights that I get, and yeah, for me, it's a 5 out of 5, and it's one that really grabs my attention. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I love talking to you. Please like, share, subscribe. Let's keep things going. It's a pleasure working with you guys and sharing my collection and talking with you guys. So please feel free to reach out. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day. Bye.